from Unicorn Elsa.
And Toothless.
And welcome to Off the Ranch, episode 6.
Oh boy.
Featuring Baby.
But.
Baby.
Okay, so I have notes, just took them. And,
and this is for episode 6.
First of all, this is my favorite episode. It's just really good. There's a lot of improvisation, and it's just, I think it's really funny.
Baby.
It's a very long episode.
It's almost 45 minutes.
Yeah, almost 45 minutes, so.
We have some that are longer than that, though.
Yes, but it's good, and we watched it, and it went by really fast because it was good, so. Okay.
You're first.
I did long episode.
Oh,
so
right.
far.
Okay, walkie-talkies, bye-bye.
All right. Bye-bye.
So, there are 3 walkie-talkie conversations at the beginning of the episode and Eric is in all of them. So it's Eric and Tom, Eric and Dragon and Jim, and then Eric and Candace and Tom. And every single time Eric says bye-bye at the end, and that is always going to be my sort of, what's the word? Like,
I don't know. Signature thing?
No, like his ending.
Oh.
His, like, signing off.
Yes, signing off.
His signing off thing. So I always have Eric say bye-bye. As well in, like, the season 2 episodes, he says bye-bye to Brandon.
What do you have on your face? She has something on her face.
Oh my god.
Right.
So yes, Eric always says bye-bye. So
yes. Do you want me to do Jim backwards?
Yes, you do.
It starts already funny because Jim is trying to drill something in.
Hey, baby.
The drill's backwards, so we're continuing the picking
Baby,
on
come
Jim and that he's really not all that smart, and this is what was on her face. It looks
It's
like
like
a piece of
plastic
paper.
or something.
So yeah, and then Eric says bye-bye again.
Yes, bye-bye. So Jim backwards.
Yes.
Actual driving.
This is a
so when
Oh.
Candace and Tom go count cows, you notice in the background, like, things are actually moving because we're actually driving.
Actually driving.
So yeah.
You said it's not the first time?
No.
Oh. Doesn't happen often.
No, it does not.
So, that's all. You also get bonus.
Yes, so the camera falls.
We're out counting cows for some odd reason.
2, 3.
Well, we're out counting cows.
And that was not intentional or anything.
No, it fell, and I chose to leave it in. It
kept
slid
it
off the
in
dashboard.
because it's something that I feel like Tom, the technologist, didn't stabilize the camera correctly, and so it just falls. And
I just thought it was funny. It added to just the comedy of the overall thing that we're doing.
He's eating leaves.
Trying to do.
Yeah, and now you get to do 2.
Well, you get this bonus too.
Why? Okay.
Because it's really more about you. And that scene's that's the only time we actually left the house. And went somewhere to film. And we ended up having to pick up a prescription or something.
Yes, we went to Kroger.
Had to go to Kroger.
To get, like, bread or something, and
Dressed as.
we were dressed as Candace and Tom in public. He looked normal.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
fine.
Everyone was looking at me.
She's wearing that
because
hat.
I've got this big cowboy hat on.
Probably thought you were on your way to a rodeo or something.
Yeah, with my little.
Oh no, you get to do this one. Look.
Okay, with the little denim jacket and all that. Anyway, what happened to this man in his childhood?
I mean, what happened to this man in his childhood?
It's one of the things about this episode I've noticed. I put it at the end as an overall, but it says especially funny talking heads. The talking heads are good.
Yeah, they are. So we, actually, Eric does the talking head about how how everyone else needs to stay extra vigilant except Jim, because Jim is not doing a good job at his job right now. And he's like, he just doesn't know what he's doing. And so he says, I mean, what happened to this man in his childhood?
It's just a great line.
And that was the line that I had actually thought of saying way before, but I didn't, and I'm glad I did it this time around and not before, because it fits in more here than when I was going to say it. So.
Okay, this is a
That's
Travis
you,
talking
yeah.
head. He says technological, and we left it in.
Or as we like to call it in the technological field, GPR.
Yeah, he says...
He says chronological too, and then he says something else.
He says
not in this episode, but
incident.
incident.
And then Brandon says, what does he say? Babe.
Oh, I don't know, but
He said like...
we left it in.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, he says, as we say in the technological field. Like, he's trying to sound fancy, but he says technological.
But what's funny is I really am mispronouncing it.
Yeah, no, you don't do that on purpose.
No, it's not on purpose.
No.
It just comes out that way. So we leave it in.
Yep. That's you.
Oh, Movavi. This episode we finally do use Movavi. Finally.
Yes.
But it's not until probably about halfway
It's-
through.
Actually, I remember we don't use Movavi until the end of episode 6.
Okay, because the music stuff and the slow motion stuff
Mm-hmm.
and the backwards speaking stuff, which by the way I didn't put on here. I know that's all through. Yeah, iMovie, because to do the backward speaking thing, I had to download an app, have it reverse everything that was said, but only the sound is reversed, not the
Yes.
the motion. So,
You gotta stop eating.
but it's weird. It doesn't really
What are you
match up, but with Movavi it does. So that hasn't been done with Movavi
What
yet.
is she eating?
I don't know, but probably that corn.
No, she found it on the ground.
Corn.
It was
Deer
white.
corn. Deer corn.
Oh. Anyway.
Anyway, yeah. But well, you'll feel the full force of Movavi on the
Yes,
next
because I
episode.
remember you only used Movavi for a day, and it was the last day that you edited it. So,
Yeah.
but you were like, I really like this.
Yeah, I really do.
Jim and Trunk again. Jim, yes. We've also started to just do like all of Jim's talking heads in the trunk.
Yeah, even if he wasn't in the trunk.
All of them are in the trunk.
He's in the trunk.
Yeah, except for one. Except one. So.
The music chosen was Back in Black by AC/DC. It was not done with Movavi.
Yeah, you wrote.
I know I wrote that, but it's not. It wasn't. Because
It wasn't.
sorry.
It wasn't like perfectly synced.
No, we're still doing it where I'm doing the song like in my head. We're not even playing it off of your phone.
Yeah,
yet.
like Movavi, it has this like auto syncer.
Yeah.
thing where you can just sync the music to the
Yep.
people.
And then so when we record the track from the back seat and we record the track from the front seat,
It
And
all
then
connects.
syncs it up automatically. 2 separate tracks, and then I just cut out pieces and it just bounces back and forth, front to back, front to back, front to back. That's it. Which is a lot easier than how I did it before. Technological. Okay, it's Halloween.
Halloween.
You can see the decorations.
Yes, you can see the decorations.
Everywhere.
You can see the inflatables. And the video was uploaded the day before Halloween.
Yeah.
So.
Devil's Night, as they say in Detroit.
Metronome Geiger counter.
We just pulled out hadn't seen it in a
That
while.
actually, yes, because we used that in episode 1. We used the metronome as the Geiger counter, which was my idea.
Yeah, it's perfect.
Thank you.
This is,
That's you.
I know, many I'm fine now, but I almost died.
Yes.
I'm fine now, but I almost died.
Many.
Man. And
Yeah.
we even like cut him off and like
Yeah, he
do
really
all this
wants to
stuff.
embellish his story.
Because
and-
it's the episode after, so he's kind of like, he wants to, it was 1 week ago today that,
Yes, and so he wants to tell his story, but he keeps getting cut off now.
and everybody's just fed up with it.
Also, we're not playing entire songs.
Correct.
We only do that with the Christmas stuff.
Yes.
Okay.
Music, you really?
Oh, I get a bonus.
Yep.
Tom, we learned that when Tom drives, he does not listen to music.
No, this one.
Oh.
You wrote that.
Oh.
That would be me.
Oh, okay. Sorry. You Really Got Me is the song
Yeah,
this time.
anyway.
The Van Halen version.
When Tom, and Candace are in the car driving to get the alpacas, there's no music, and Tom Lindy, asks why Tom doesn't listen to music in the car, and he says, I'm all business.
How come you never listen to music, Tom?
I'm all business. That was improvised.
That was
By
yours.
yours truly. Also, he also says, because sometimes the music is sensitive to my head. Plus, music is sometimes sensitive to my head.
Yes.
So, it could be his car because he can listen to it fine in Dragon's car, but, you know, whatever.
That's true. Well, he can't drive and listen to music.
He can't drive and listen to music. There you go.
Alpaca mutilations.
Every ranch that has any paranormal experience has cow mutilations. But you know what they don't have? Alpaca mutilations.
That was my line. Dabout.
There you go.
It's a perfect example. About every ranch has cattle mutilations, but no ranch has
Alpaca mutilations.
So that's his thing.
Yes, that's the thing. Baby as alpaca.
Oh, well, she made a good alpaca.
Yes, Baby was a little thinner. And she played Lionel.
And Jed.
No, Jed's the mutilated one.
Yeah, but she plays a healthy Jed at the beginning.
That's true. That's true.
Oh, this is big.
Chief Gary!
Big moment.
You guys finally get to see Chief Gary.
Yep, you finally meet him.
This is our stocky Ute neighbor. His real name is Chief Gary. He's the Ute spiritual leader.
Yes, I live over just on the other side of the mesa. Perhaps you've seen me drive by an unreasonable amount of times in my white Chevy Suburban, keeping eyes on the ranch.
Hear about him, finally meet him.
And I love that he says, you've probably seen me drive an unreasonable amount of times.
Well, you introduce him as the stalker neighbor.
Is the stocky Ute neighbor,
Yeah, that's how you introduce him in front of him.
This is our stocky Ute neighbor.
Stocky Ute neighbor, and I don't say anything.
And then you say, yes, you've probably seen me drive an unreasonable amount of time.
Brandon's beautiful talking head where he forgets everything.
And that's where the D'Angelos come in. They are shapeshifters, and they can go from portal to portal and shapeshift, and they can explode. They wolf, and they shapeshift, and they wolf. Very dangerous. D'Angelos are the curse, and they can shapeshift into wolves, but are also like people. A D'Angelo is a shapeshifter.
He forgets what D'Angelos are. So
I couldn't remember.
you can hear me constantly whispering behind the camera in that,
Feeding me lines.
feeding him things, and he still doesn't get it right. I tell him that they shapeshift into wolves, and
When I say they wolf.
they wolf, and then he says they shapeshift about 3 times.
Explosions.
He says they explode. He says they can go from portal to portal, which is not right.
And then
They're very dangerous.
very dangerous. Yes, they wolf.
They wolf.
Explode.
Now,
Very dangerous.
if you've actually seen a skinwalker, they're kind of scary.
They're very scary.
They're-
like Roland. Old Roland saw a skinwalker.
I'm a skinwalker.
Oh,
I'm pointing at Roland.
yes, at point you messed up.
You messed with me! Spoiler.
Oh, this is you observed this, so you do it.
Yes,
The music,
you
I'll
gotta-
do mute,
yeah.
mute tribal
You
music.
chose that, yeah.
Yes, we played real Ute tribal music.
Yes!
I found it on YouTube.
That was real
And
Ute tribal
Yep,
music.
and used it. It's a ceremony. Yep.
We
So,
probably offended
okay,
some
now
people.
the big one.
Yes, so we with the Ute tribal music, we drove to Homestead too, right? But we were in the exact same spot as we were when we met Chief Gary. Like, we didn't actually move, like, to the front yard or anything. We're still in the backyard on the deck. Like, we're in the exact same spot. Like, they didn't move. They didn't drive anywhere, which I think is kind of funny. And, yeah.
Yeah, well,
Well, you know.
oh well. We're on a tight budget.
We're different now. We're better now.
The chainsaw effect.
Yeah.
Every saw you use sounds like a chainsaw, regardless of what kind of saw it is. Because I don't give you a saw plugged in, obviously. Right. But you've had a circular saw, which did have the real sound effect of a circular saw. And then twice you've had a reciprocating saw. Mm-hmm. Some would call a sawzall, although a sawzall is the brand name. But anyway.
It's kind of like calling all bandages
Band-Aids. Right. That's exactly it. Like when here they say weed eat. And weed eater is a brand. It's weed whack.
Really?
You weed whack.
Oh.
Weed eater
is a brand.
Is a brand. It's made by Poulin.
Oh, anyway.
Poulin Weed Eater.
Another thing that I think is funny that's not on there is when Dragon says that Tom has to cut down a tree and that the drill is here. The face that I make as Tom is probably a face that I will never be able to make ever again. He's like, ah. And I'm just like, oh my God, how did I even make that face? I don't even know.
I love that Tom cuts down the entire tree rather than just prunes a few limbs off.
Yes, like on the real show, he just cuts some limbs off. But no, we made him cut down the entire tree. What we should have done is have Travis stand in a different spot because there's no tree anymore.
Yeah, or just some stump.
Yeah.
As you can see, in the blasting sun all the time now.
There's no more tree.
Out back. Dogs barking, and I made an angry face.
Yes.
I'll say it again. We live in the doggiest neighborhood you'll ever... You must love dogs to live here.
Yes, and it was my talking head, Tom, in front of the burning bush. And there's this dog who barks all the time because her owners just like leave her outside. So she has nothing better to do with her life, which I don't blame her. You know, she can't.
They put her up on. They have a balcony,
like a little balcony,
up like a deck, an elevated deck, and they put her up on there so she sees everything. And
she's in this little like cramped corner, and she has nothing else to do but just bark at things.
And it, she's up high, and it resonates, so it just echoes throughout the neighborhood.
I wouldn't say it's entirely her fault, though.
No, a barking dog's totally a neighbor's fault.
But anyway,
the owner's fault.
Also, when we were rewatching this episode and the dog, you could hear the dog barking, Baby was like,
yes.
Where is that?
I knew she was. The new mics that we use, if we use the clip-ons, you can't even hear the dogs barking. But if you use the parabolic one, which was what we use now, with what do they call it? Dead cat.
Dead cat, yeah.
Which is the fuzzy mic cover. It worked great. So, next.
Damage the equipment.
If we try to drill any deeper, it's going to damage the equipment.
Well, damage the equipment for God's sake.
I love that line.
You have two favorite lines in this episode. One is, we will listen with reverence.
We will listen with reverence.
And the other is,
well, damage the equipment for God's sake.
That's a classic line.
And
what's he say? Bless the hell out of it.
Bless the hell out of it, Reverend.
Bless the hell out of it, Reverend.
Rev calls him Reverend. Yeah.
But that was improvised. He's like, well, if we drill any further, we would damage the equipment.
Then damage the equipment for God's sake.
That's a great line.
Yeah.
Jim's repeating everything.
Yes. Now, on the real show, Jim does repeat what they say. Like Travis says, well, I think we should move on. And on the real show, Jim goes, move on.
Why don't we move on?
Move on.
And I'm just like, he just said that. Like,
it's funny how we saw Jim leaving the show before everyone else did.
Homestead 2. We made a sign.
I made the sign.
Yes, and that's very good. and put it on our shed to show that that was Homestead 2. And that sign was actually up there for a while until the rain destroyed
we left it out in the elements, and it held on for a while, but it finally gave up.
But I love it. And like Homestead 2 is the same place as Homestead 1 because that shed is Candace and Tom's house.
It's just the
and
other...
they live on Homestead 1, so it's just the other side.
Yes, Homestead 1 is the door of the shed.
Like
Homestead 2 is just the other side.
Candace and Tom's house is the little like thing that separates Homestead 1 and 2. Like
Yes.
they're only that far apart from each other. Tom shaking the power line.
We came up with this one.
So we're here Homestead 2, and sure enough, man, right when we start about digging, the power lines go crazy. So we're like, man, look at those things. Look at them shaking. Look at that. And then all of a sudden, man, Tom, quit shaking the damn power lines. Jesus, you almost scared the crap out of everybody.
I wanted to know why we think.
On the real show, the power lines do shake, but for no like real reason.
Never solved. Never referred to again.
No. So we just have Tom shake them, and I think that was just brilliant. I just go,
Yeah.
because the basketball hoop.
Good. Sort. Exactly. Ugh. I love that. I love that one. We made that whole scene.
Yes, we did. And
Maddie as injured Jet.
yes.
Well,
Go ahead and elaborate.
well, I was just saying it was good to see her, and she's walking along, and you can tell she doesn't feel great. You just can tell she's not real.
not
I start looking at this footage of her, and I'm just like, man, she's doesn't want to live like that. So anyway, so she played did a really good job playing our injured alpaca. Our mutilate, and then you actually come up with the classic line
that the alpaca looks fictional.
You seen anything else like it?
I've seen cow mutilations too.
Really?
Yeah. But again, I've never seen anything this bad before.
And I mean, this animal almost looks like not like an animal. It's like some kind of creature.
Well, it doesn't. It looks fictional as well.
Fictional, yes.
And at that point, you're referring to Maddie, though. We start talking about Maddie, and you're like, I'm like, yeah, this thing doesn't even look real. Or no, I see something like,
You say, this doesn't look normal or something. And
I
I'm
don't
like,
know.
it looks fictional. And yeah, that's because it did not look normal.
I already mentioned this one.
Especially funny talking heads.
The
Yeah.
talking heads are especially funny. And then the other one is the sound.
The sound
I
for
found.
the alpacas screaming that's a frog.
It's a real frog. I didn't do anything to the sound, like
Effects or
speed it up
anything.
or put an effect on it. It's the real sound of some weird frog. And I found it on YouTube, and I just used the audio
And
from
we
it.
just put lightning on the computer.
Yeah, and that's me playing around with Movavi.
Yeah, because, again, on the real show, they zoom in on Eric's computer and you can hear the alpaca, but they don't really
Show it.
show.
You just hear it.
And they don't put anything on the computer.
It just
or
zooms
anything.
in on the computer,
Yeah.
which we did. Which I did that exact same shot, but I threw the lightning on there. That's it.
Yep, that's it for episode 6 of The Secret of D'Angelo Ranch. I almost said Off the Ranch. And Off the Ranch, I guess, right?
Yep.
But,
We're matched up.
Yay, we are matched up. You're welcome. But yeah, I really like this episode. The ones from like 3 on are just really good.
This one's like a pivot. Like, it really, really goes to another level. Like, you can see the amount of work we're putting into it. And
Now we're putting even more work.
now even more work, yes.
Spend 5 hours an episode writing a script.
Now, the next script is 19 pages.
It's 18, I think.
18 or 19. Goes on to page 19. So 18
It's like 18 and a quarter.
Yeah, it's on the 19th page.
18 and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, so my students would call it 19.
No.
I'd be like, no, it's 18 and a half. Which I don't care anyway.
They don't need to give you 18 and a half pages.
Don't, please don't. So that's it. So, okay.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Off the Ranch. Please comment, rate, subscribe to be part of the Snow Unicorn Army. thumbs up and friend us on Twitch. It's www.twitch.tv/the Slytherin Listen to our podcast at anchor.fm/the Slytherin Twins, or you can listen to our podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, literally like all of the podcast apps. And it's called The Slytherin Twins. Follow me on Instagram at unicornelsa09. Follow us on TikTok at The Slytherin Twins. And follow me on Twitter at unicornelsa. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!
Bye!